guess. Are we live? We're live. Yeah. Hello. Welcome to episode number 100 of Fine Leg to Full Forward. How are we doing, everyone? We good? Thank you all for coming. Ashwin, how you going, mate?
Doing pretty well, mate. Pretty well. We're here.
We're here. It's actually, so strange to believe that the day has actually come around.
Definitely panic stations early on with the setup and everything, but...
Yeah, it's taken a lot longer than it probably should have. That's more of a comment on us than the equipment. Thank you so much for coming, guys. Thanks for showing your support. It means a lot. We wouldn't have got to 100 or 99 and a bit now, technically, without you guys. Before we go any further, this episode of Fine Leg to Full Forward is brought to you by Baxter Vodka, the official drink of the Narre Warren Pelicans. We might be on a cricketing gap year right now, but we are gearing up for a massive 2024-25 season. Drink responsibly.
We hope that everyone has a laugh and some fun today. And as you can see, we've got plenty of merch up the back there.
Anyone already in it looks real good. Please get around
merch
it.
For, I don't know when we started talking about merch.
It was about episode 50 we mentioned it, and we were like, we'll get around that. We'll get on that. And
it's taken us another 50, but
another 50 episodes.
We're here now. We've got some stubbies.
Got some prizes. Yeah, we got some stubbies. These are exclusive one-of-a-kind stubbies. These are one of one. The reason they're one of one is because the supplier we used, they're all slightly different shapes and sizes, and the print's all wonky. So, one of a kind. That's not all, though, in terms of prizes. We do actually also have some signed photos of Joel Selwood and Billy Slater.
Yep.
I am in the photos, so they're signed by me. But you're gonna want to get around those.
Yep. Before we go any further, though, I'd just like to say a few people might be. There's probably a few regular listeners here. I usually start by saying Wominjeka sometimes when I intro, and you might be aware Wominjeka means welcome in a bunch of languages within the Kulin Nation. So, without going any further, me growing up for the majority of my life in Bunurong land, it gives me great pleasure to acknowledge the Wurundjeri tribe of the Kulin Nations as the traditional owners on the land in which we meet today. And I'd like to pay my respects to elders both past, present and emerging.
Cool. No worries. Some housekeeping as well, just before we do go any further. Don't go wandering around the building. I actually quite enjoy working here and I don't want to get fired. The toilets are at the back, the left, sort of around the corner there. Emergency exit is directly at the back, and the evacuation meeting point is that car park there.
Yep. And for anyone that's watching online with the recording that we're going to post up probably next week. Yeah. Feel free to take note of the emergency exits and things like that too.
Yeah, if your toilet's moved, feel free to just check. Yeah. Check this.
If you're watching it on the Dunny at home. Yeah.
On the venue though, mate, how fucking good is this?
It's sick. And we didn't have to pay anything for it. That was...
that's the best part of it.
The best part of it.
Because we pay rent for where we actually usually do the podcast. That's a very good point. It's as good as it gets, though, in our Rags to Riches story, I think. I have heard a few comments about it looking pretty good, and I'm pretty happy with how it's turned out.
Yeah. It's got a slightly professional vibe to
It's
it.
more of a TED Talk than I think we initially intended it to be.
But a few of you might be aware that... as of late, we've kind of branched out into a bit more of a consultancy sort of vibe anyway. So you can think of this as like a seminar.
Yeah, absolutely. That's
got the Mentos mints. And I've timed this Mentos really poorly because I put it in my mouth like 3 minutes ago. And
awesome. Well, I remember when I was looking through some old episodes, I was listening back to some old episodes, and there was an episode where you were chewing gum the whole way through. It annoyed the fuck out of me going through the audio afterwards. We haven't actually recorded a whole episode all the way through, so bear with us. There might be some teething issues. Hopefully there's not. But this, I feel, is perfect timing to celebrate 100th episode, right? Finals are underway. Everyone is hyped.
Mm-hmm.
And we're a genuine footy and cricket podcast, so there's no better way for us to celebrate.
We definitely watched all of the game last night.
Oh, so much of the game.
Yeah,
all the way through.
Count the Blues.
Up the bags. All right. See what happens if this episode's out before the final. No, don't worry. Don't worry about it. So we're a footy cricket podcast. We take that stuff very seriously. Yep. So 100 centuries seems like a pretty sensible place to start would be with our favourite hundreds, our favourite centuries, right? Because we take this stuff very, very seriously.
We do.
So we're absolutely going to
actually talk about cricket and footy stuff.
Yeah, sorry for those who have come to know us as not people who talk about sport. But
I mean, we won't spend that long talking about it, but I'll give you one of my favourite centuries.
All right.
Usman Khawaja.
Obviously.
Dubai 2018.
There's a few people here who would not be shocked with that in the slightest.
With that in the slightest.
Yeah.
Just to save a test match in that fashion, in the way he did, against all the scrutiny of him not being able to play against spin overseas was incredible.
My favourite century, any guesses? Anyone want to guess? Lachlan Shaw 183 is a good shout. Almost as good as Ben Stokes in the 2019 Ashes series. Oh, no, they're pretty on par. Also, there's a couple of cricket ones there. We've probably mentioned some footy.
Buddy Franklin.
2008, yeah.
2008.
Yep.
What a century.
What a century, just because it was the last one that we are aware of, right? Footy.
Yep.
Another 100, that green note, that's pretty good. That on there. Yep.
Notable.
No, notable. Nice. Yep. Any other hundreds you want to talk about?
Hottest 100?
Hottest, yeah, that's a good 100.
We've mentioned the hottest 100
very
a few times
Yep.
on the show. Don't want to talk too much else about it. I mean,
what do you reckon? Your favorite song you've ever voted for on any hottest 100 would be?
Probably Good News by Mac Miller.
Gee, I wasn't actually prepared for you to have an answer.
I wasn't either, and I just looked
okay.
at Baz and I was like Mac, and I just thought, I got to say this.
Another 100 favorite of mine, the 100-Year War. As we all know, it's the series of armed conflicts fought between the kingdoms of England and France throughout the Middle Ages. It originated from English claims to the French throne.
Yeah, that one's quite personal to you, isn't it?
It's just my ancestors being colonists.
Yeah.
Just do what they do best, right?
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah. Another one, kind of 100, 101 Dalmatians, but there's
that
an
is
extra
101.
one. But it's kind of...
Yep. Okay. Yep. Well, the youngest one from... Anyone know what the name of the youngest Dalmatian in 101 Dalmatians is?
I don't remember the...
It's actually Dorothy. So she's the 101st. So we just fuck Dorothy off and we like all the other...
We like the rest
100 Dalmatians.
Nice.
How about you? Any hundreds? We've had Beano's mentioned there. The 183 not out. Any other favourite hundreds we want to talk about? 21st century.
Nice.
Yep. Has there been 100 years of that so far? Not yet. Okay.
But
You're really optimistic
it's gonna
about
be
the rest of
when it's
the rest of the
done.
year. Yeah, no, I like that. Any
Yep.
takers? No one's prepared for questions on the spot. That's fair enough. I wouldn't be either.
Yep.
All right. Without any further ado, then we'll get into our first segment. Hey,
Yeah, let's run it back.
let's run it back. There's usually music playing. So for those of you who aren't aware of what Run It Back is, it's the segment where we take an event, a story, whatever it may be, that's happened from the last week of cricket, the last week of footy, because again, we're a footy cricket podcast, we take that stuff very seriously.
Yep.
And we kind of run with it. Doesn't have to be anything to do with sport. I think the example that we realised that we both gave when talking to people without even communicating with each other was that the week where there was that woman who snuck her pet cat into the footy.
Yep.
And so we spent the week talking about what we think we'd be able to sneak into the footy.
Yep.
And you said one of your highlights was a 32-inch TV, wasn't it?
I did say that. Yep. Without thinking too much. It's funny how we both use that example. I don't know if it sums us up in that way, but it's kind of like it's footy cricket because we're talking about going to the stadium, going there, but it's got nothing to do about the game.
Yeah.
So,
sport adjacent is a term I've started using to describe the show.
Yeah.
So that's what happens with the usual Run It Back. But as you're aware, it's not any usual week. That's why we're here, and that's why you're here. Mm-hmm. So what are we going to do, mate? We
are going to do a very special edition of Run It Back this week, and I'll give you a bit of context. Some of you may be aware the Hollywood strike is currently still. I believe it's still underway.
Think so. It's still happening, yeah.
Even if it's not, let's just pretend it's still underway. And unbeknownst to everyone in the room, we've actually been caught up in it. So we've had this idea of releasing FLTF. Is it the first time I've said FLTF?
That might be the first time it's been referred to.
FLTF stands for Fine Length to Full Forward. For anyone that,
thanks.
yeah. Just wanted to explain that.
Intelligence. That's all good.
We've had this idea of releasing a FLTF doco for hundreds of hours, but we just can't until the strike's over. We can't release it. There's issues with the union, and we just don't want to get into trouble with that sort of shit.
Don't ruffle any feathers now.
But today we're going to be giving you a bit of a rundown into sort of what's contained in this cinematic masterpiece.
There's a special thank you for you guys making the effort of coming down. It's a bit of a rundown of our rags to riches story. A mini disclaimer that we're actually going to try and make it obvious when we're trying to be talking about what's on the screen, like as a director mode, and when we're going to be sort of quoting ourselves from this very, very real documentary. Mm-hmm. So without any further ado.
Chapter 1. Nah, I'm genuinely asking.
So our first episode was October 2020, but we started talking on and off about a podcast like a long, long time before that, like in the early lockdown days. I want to say April.
Yeah,
about that.
I remember there was a conversation with Cho, who's sitting there a few rows back. We had a conversation at, was it Nice Buns in Berwick? It was in the car park.
Yeah,
we weren't allowed to sit inside, but you're allowed to sit next to each other in the car park at that point in time.
Because COVID.
So takeaway, and then we're sitting in the car park there. And you floated this idea of a podcast.
Cool, pin it on me, appreciate it.
Called Nah, I'm Genuinely Asking. And the way it worked would be, so it would start with, G'day and welcome to Nah, I'm Genuinely Asking. The only show brave enough to tackle the big questions that no one's asking. Join us as we dive into the most pointless questions that probably don't need to be answered.
Yeah, so it'd be ideally one question per episode, and we try and hope that we can flesh that out for 40 minutes. You seeing any similarities yet? Yeah. So this is the beauty of it. Mm-hmm. So one of us would ask a question, to which the other would say, "You're kidding," and then the initial person would say, "Nah, I'm genuinely asking."
And the questions, we came up with a couple, like in that early phase. So one of them would be, if animals could talk, which would be the rudest?
Do you guys reckon you could talk about that for 40 minutes? Actually, let's like the humorous for a sec. Which animal do you reckon would be the rudest if animals could talk?
Cats. Really?
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Misunderstood, but yeah, I get why you'd say that. Going for the popularity vote. No, that's fine. Okay. Another question we wrote down was, which inanimate object would you eliminate from existence? You reckon you talk about that for 40 minutes? Any takers?
That one's a bit more conceptual, I think.
I'd say like throw pillows. They're on the bed. Hold on. They're on the bed. Sorry, Dale. they're on the bed during the day. The sole purpose is to be put on the floor at night. Hold on. It's my answer to the question. Okay. The beauty of the show, the make-believe show, is that it's open to interpretation.
Another one was, if you could erase the entire world's memory of a particular song and then make it your own, what would you pick to make yourself a star?
Again, open to the audience. All right, cool. Awesome.
I don't think we thought about how complex these questions are, and we can't get answers straight away.
Yep.
Because my answer to that would be Good News by Mac Miller, but only because I said that 5 minutes ago.
Yeah, and it's No, that's fair. Anyway, it was the type of shit that we could imagine us talking, but it's fair to say we were still sort of lacking a target audience.
Yes. Sorry, we're still on the doco right now. Scene, yes. Yep. As we know, streaming services are getting greedier at the moment. So the doc at this point would actually cut to an ad break at the moment, and we're going to do the same.
Yep. This episode of Finally to Full Forward is brought to you by Baxter Vodka, the official drink of the Narre Warren Pelicans. We are on a cricketing gap year for now, but we're gearing up for a massive 24-25 season. Drink responsibly.
Chapter 2. On air. So something that we always bonded over after this initial idea of, I'm genuinely asking, something we've always bonded over as mates for the past 14 years. 14,
Actually,
15
I
years.
forget that I've known you longer than I haven't. That's mad.
Yeah. Is sport. And our passion for it sort of meant that was probably something that we could land on for a
if we were going to do a
podcast
podcast,
thing.
yeah. I remember. Do you remember the note that I actually showed you on my phone that I'd written on my phone from October 2020?
Yes.
The title of the note said "Initial Ideas." Lol.
Yep.
So it was cricket / footy podcast, and then the main segment was questions around sort of the latest news around the sport. So, i.e. Richmond made the grand final last night, which ruined everything for the neutral footy fan wanting a Port versus Brisbane grand final. This is 2020. It got us thinking, who was the last truly hated team? What is it about successful teams that attract such negativity?
I think that the best part about it was not only did we think that we'd not be able to, well, we thought we'd be able to answer that question. But we also thought that people would care about what we had to say about that.
Yep.
Which, look, I think we've come to learn with time. That's not the case. We had a couple of other segments too, though, with that initial. Did you type down that initial note as well?
Yeah. So there was footy folklore retold, where one guy commentates over an iconic footy highlight.
Yep.
And the other has to guess what the moment is. So
basically,
obviously that can be done with cricket.
Commentate over with no audio, and then
Yeah. And there was also who he played for, which was inspired by the NBA. So one guy would give a name and a Guernsey number, and the other guy guesses the team.
Was it called who he played for in the NBA as well?
Inside the NBA, that's what it was called, yeah.
So I wouldn't say inspired, but I'd say taken from then. Right?
Yep, fair. Yep.
Let's try that again right now. Right, we might as
Who
well
he played? Yeah, okay, right. Yeah, we'll do something similar.
do a live who he play for. We're going to give you a name and a team, and give us a Guernsey number. All right. So, Zane Cordy of the Saints.
We fucking love the Saints. Give us a number. Times that by 3. Hey, well done. Yeah, first time. Well done, guys. You guys are good.
Mason Wood of the Saints.
We fucking love the Saints. How good are the Saints? How good are the Saints? We love the Saints.
Good. They're starting in
40
40 minutes.
Well done. Yep. Mason Wood of the Saints. Number, Guernsey number. Oh, almost. -7 from that, Rich, and then you got it first time. Whoa.
Yeah, nice.
Someone's really good over there. Well done.
And finally, Jack Steele of the Saints.
We fucking love the Saints. How good is Jack Steele? How good is Jack Steele? What number is Jack Steele, sorry? No, okay. Right. I did not say that. I was going to say that.
That part of the show was brought to you by AFLtables.com and the Saints, because we love the Saints.
Yeah, we got distracted there, but the key takeout in terms of in the sense of the doc was that was the podcast in its earliest form.
Yep.
But we still didn't have a name.
No. And so there was this, it was until we had that Zoom call, right?
Yep.
It was a Zoom call that one night.
Still in lockdown at this stage, yep.
Yep. And we were trying to come up with a name over Zoom. I can't remember if I was in Inverloch or not. I might have been in Inverloch and you were up here in Clyde or whatnot. And we're trying to come up with a name that was relevant to both footy and cricket. And I think it was sort of... We didn't really come up with many different options. We kind of just like stuck.
It happened pretty quickly, I think, didn't it? Like we were talking and we talked about terms and things that were could be applicable to both.
Yeah.
And you said something like fine leg to something, and to which I responded with full forward straight away.
Yeah.
And we kind of came up with half a name each, and we've stuck with fine leg to full forward for 100 episodes now.
Yeah. Like, and it, we've probably mentioned before, it's that whole rags to riches thing. It's like in cricket, you think about fine leg to fine leg, and it's like, okay, you're fielding from fine leg to fine leg, and it's considered that sort of down here.
Yep.
And you go from that to full forward, being in the spotlight and everything like that.
So rags to riches is in our name.
In the name, I think.
Well, fine leg to see. Anyone know that about fine leg to fine leg? We talk about cricket on this show. Genuine cricket podcast. So we're sitting there, we're recording our first episode, and what people may not know is that episode was actually supposed to be a draft.
Yep.
I told Ashwin when we were recording it that it was like a draft, like
completely a draft.
no pressure.
Well, no
like,
one's going to see this at all.
We're going to see how we, how we feel about it. And then I sent it around to a couple of mates, a few who are in the room, and we got good enough feedback for me to go, fuck it, I'm going to post this.
Within the next day or something? It was something ridiculous like that.
Yeah, but it was like that.
I didn't know until it was up. Yeah, I was like, what?
Yeah. But yeah, somehow we were, I say somehow, we know exactly how because I just explained it, but somehow we were podcasters.
Yeah. And as I said, rags to riches. It was that idea. It was sort of, we've mentioned it from episode 1, and I think we continue to mention it, but like that's probably the name of today's episode, to be honest.
So the documentary. The documentary.
Sorry, the documentary.
The very real documentary.
Yes.
The reason that we mentioned it so much is I think we figured out early on, quite a positive spin of saying we know we sound shit now, but we hope to sound better in the future.
Yeah. It's kind of
just like excusing how shit we know we sound from the start.
You kind of get away with shit by just being like, yeah, we'll get better later. Riches, yeah.
But other than spending a large chunk of episode 1 mispronouncing the word dynasty, which was entirely my fault, and you knew how to pronounce the word, but you were too awkward to pull me up on it, so you started saying it incorrectly as well.
Do you think so? Is it an American?
Knowing you for as long as I've known you, yes.
Yeah. Dynasty versus dynasty, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do we think, guys?
It's dynasty.
So other than that, and having to record episode 2 after watching Geelong lose the 2020 grand final, we were off to a flyer.
Yeah. Until we weren't. This episode is brought to you by Bags of Vodka, the official drink of the Narre Warren Pelicans. We're on a gap year right now, but we're gearing up for a massive 24-25 season. Drink responsibly.
Chapter 3. Hiatus.
Wait, this is the moment that I've been preparing for.
Been preparing for it. Well, the transition is smooth as shit, man. Honestly, well done.
Have you said Chapter 3 hiatus yet?
Do you want to say it again? I can say it again. We've accidentally rewound on Netflix, so hold on. Chapter 3 hiatus.
On the screen fades in. Blink 182, 2005 to 2009. Spice Girls, 2000 to 2007. Little Mix, 2021 to present. One Direction, 2015 to present. Fine Length to Full Forward, December 2020 to July 2021.
That was well done.
Thanks, man.
I think John Lennon summed it up perfectly when he said, life is what happens when you're busy making other plans. Not that we had plans for this podcast to take us anywhere. In fact, I think it's fair to say we still don't really have plans. But what we did have was the knowledge that we weren't doing the show.
Without even knowing why.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
For 7 months. It's a long time. So you can do a lot of things in 7 months. You can grow most of a baby in 7 months. Like most of a baby. You can watch all but 23 episodes of this series Friends if you watch one per day. You can watch an entire AFL season, including finals, and still have time for a 2-week holiday.
See, we're a footy podcast. We've mentioned footy again.
Because we talk about footy, yeah.
7 months is a long time, isn't it, mate?
Yeah.
And by Ravenous's estimations, you can create 17% of an album.
In 7 months.
3.5 years, mate. Do you want to take a moment here? What's going on with the album? The people, you take any longer, the people are going to be off Ravenous.
Are you off? Are you off Ravenous?
I'm off Ravenous. I was off North last year. I'm off Ravenous.
It's coming, mate. Within the next 2 months.
Ooh, so this doco is doubling up as a plug for the album.
Oh, where's my plug sign?
Oh, yeah, we actually bought so much we forgot that this is a plug sign.
That's all right. That's all right.
Geez, no.
That's all right, but yeah, within the next 2 months.
Yeah. But all we did in those 7 months was decide on segments that we thought were good enough to return with.
That's what we did, right? We came back. We didn't have segments at the start. We had an idea, and then we came back, and there were segments.
Yeah. This episode is brought to you by Baxter Vodka, the official drink of the Narre Pelicans. We're on a cricketing gap year right now, but we're gearing up for a massive 24-25 season. Drink responsibly.
Chapter 4, hashtag the return.
After so long away, you have to try and carefully orchestrate a return, and a big part about a plan like that is timing.
Yeah, and so taking that into consideration, it was only right that we returned after 7 months with a season preview of the AFL season 6 weeks out of finals. It's pretty on brand for us, really.
Yeah, it was on brand before we really had a brand, hey?
Yeah, that's what made the brand, I think. Yeah.
I think so, yeah. We'd set out again on the journey of trying to be serious podcasters, trying to analyse footy, cricket and COVID at the time.
Yes, you famously declared no more Zoom calls. You declared it. Just days before a second lockdown.
It was two days. 2 days, yeah.
Was it literally 2 days?
I did feel a bit responsible, like I'd let down the entire of Melbourne.
Spoke it into existence.
Game's the game, though, isn't it? Some other highlights of us attempting to be analysts included accidentally triggering St Kilda fans.
Yep.
So in the early stages of the show, 75% of our listenership were St Kilda fans. Yep. And we didn't actually realise how often we were mentioning the 2010 grand finals until we got a strongly worded message from one of our most loyal listeners at the time.
Mm-hmm.
He's I was going to say he's no longer with us. He's just not here. He's playing baseball. He's not dead. He's just playing baseball. But we have been writing that wrong ever since. And, you know, as you might have picked up on it, we haven't stopped loving the Saints.
You know, I've never thought about it until right at this moment, but do you think we constantly say we love the Saints purely to, like, we're trying to fill this void of the damage that we've done, the hurt that we've caused?
I feel like I said that in different words just then.
Oh.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah. This is what happens when we riff.
Yeah.
But it is special that we are literally doing our 100th episode on the day that the Saints play in the finals.
Meant to be. Yeah,
it's meant to be.
I didn't think about that.
Some other notable moments. Luke confusing cricketers from Bangladesh with cricketers from Afghanistan.
I did.
Do you remember that?
I did do that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you remember who were the cricketers that I confused?
The Melbourne Renegades own Once a Gate, Always a Gate.
Once a Gate, Always a Gate.
Muhammad Nabi.
Yep.
You were convinced that he was from Bangladesh.
Yep. Okay. I got it. I think, did I get him confused with Shakib Al Hassan?
No, I don't think you got the cricketers confused. Awesome. You just were racist.
I was. Yep. Oh, okay. That's a strong word. All right. Well, some other highlights. I can't really come back from that one, but yeah, some other highlights included Ashwin butchering the same Richie Benaud quote twice.
Yep.
Did you want to attempt it for a third time?
You'll probably get the same results because I haven't thought about it up until now. Do you want me to try?
Yeah, give it a go, mate. Give it a go.
Don't tell the people what they see. Tell them, nah.
You're actually doing really well. You just hadn't got that far.
Yeah.
That far through it, yeah.
What else do we do? We recorded episodes under Dooners.
Separate Dooners.
Were they separate?
They were separate. They were separate Dooners, other side of the rooms. They were.
I remember us being pretty close to each other. Are you sure? It was a
rags to riches. Rags to riches. Look at us now. And then I guess the final highlight of us being analysts, if you want to call it that, was getting ignored by Mark Zuckerberg.
Yep.
So Nathan Brown, famously now, commented on one of our posts after we were sort of bagging him out for celebrating a draw. And that started as you guys would all be aware, I don't really need to tell you twice, the hashtag Verify Brownie movement.
Yep.
As we were trying to get Instagram to give Brownie a blue tick. Heard nothing back though, so we kind of failed him.
We failed.
Yeah.
We tried, but we failed.
We tried.
We also returned to YouTube by episode 25. So there was that period where we were kind of just like audio only, get some stuff out for the rest of the footy season, the cricket season.
Yep.
Until we're ready to come back. And I think that step to come back to YouTube was a big step.
Yeah. I mean, and other than me spending, it was episode 25, was it?
Yep.
And I don't know if you remember how aggressively I was like pointing at the camera and pointing at you. I was just happy to be back on YouTube.
To be on a screen.
Other than that, like we were off to another flyer, weren't we? Like the amount of episodes we've done up to that point, we definitely got into the swing of things. You kind of, with podcasts, you kind of have to develop a routine to get episodes out so that listeners can develop a routine to work your podcast into their routine.
Yeah,
you get what I'm saying.
Yeah,
and it was fine, but like it wasn't anything special. I don't think our heart was really in it.
Well, I think the key thing was like at that point we were getting content out, but we didn't. And I think this is the key part of us. We didn't fancy ourselves as analysts or people who the industry would turn to for actual sporting analysis or that sort of shit.
I know that is a shock to everyone in the room. Yeah. But it's true.
But up at that point, we still didn't really know what we wanted to be, I guess. Right?
This episode of Fine Leg to Full Forward is brought to you by Baxter Vodka, the official drink of the Narrower and Pelicans. We're on a cricketing gap year right now, but we're gearing up for a massive 24-25 season. Drink responsibly.
Chapter 5, The Blueprint.
One of the first times that I remember us starting to have some fun with an episode, like the earliest episode I can think of would be the And the Award Goes To.
Yep.
It was where we reinvented Brownlow Night.
Yeah. And I think like one, for example, we came up with a few different awards that aren't awarded on Brownlow Night. And I think
that should be, let's be honest.
That should be. Our clear favourite of the ones that we came up with was the Jasper Pittard Award. So that's the award for the most tackled.
Not most tackles, the person who has tackled the most.
The person that's tackled the most for trying to take the game on and take everyone on. The loosest player.
The loosest player. You know, he's got the ball in hand, he's staring at his teammate directly in the eye. He then looks at the pack and goes, nah, I'm thinking about the players, the spectators in the stands. They've come spend their hard-earned money to be entertained.
They want entertainment.
I'm trying to go through this pack.
Yeah.
The Jasper Pittard
It deserves to be awarded. Right?
Yeah. Appropriately named as well, I think.
Yeah.
I'll stand by that.
Yeah.
But we didn't realise how important that episode was in the story, did we? It paved the way for us to have some fun, get stupid with it, depending on how you want to look at it.
Yeah. And not be sporting analysts, if that makes sense.
Even though we were really good at it.
Yeah. It also allowed us to explore a variety of business ventures, including consultants, wedding planners, and to create stupid scenarios that not even we could think our way out of.
Without that episode and the inspiration that it brought us, we wouldn't have Brovid-19.
Yep.
The episode where we went through as a public service and made several sports COVID safe.
Yep. We wouldn't have Ashwini, the episode where we appointed ministers to our own AFL-themed cabinet.
We wouldn't have Recovery.
Yep.
That album by Eminem.
Yep.
We can't quite take credit for that, but the episode where we advise the average Joe on realistic ways of getting back on the ground.
And we wouldn't have had Australian televisual masterpieces where we roasted Home and Away and also created some cricket-themed episodes for iconic Aussie shows. Also, it was, let's face it, 70% of that was me just in awe talking about the Bluey episode.
The Bluey, yeah. Yep. Yeah, so the doc would end with it's quite a wholesome sort of ending, isn't it? It had really come full circle, going from the idea of, nah, I'm genuinely asking, to asking questions that are along the lines of, how could Uber Eats benefit the AFL?
Yeah, it's come full circle.
Yeah.
So here we are, thin, legs to full forward.
Nice.
Credits,
yeah, that'd be the doc.
That would be the doco, right?
That would be. So for those of you who, some of you might be aware, when we run it back, when we've ran it all the way back, we then have to get forward. We've got to bring it back to some sort of relevancy.
Sometimes.
So getting forward.
Yep.
Would anyone in the world watch that doco? By show of hands? Oh, you guys are all liars, but I appreciate it. That's a good point, yeah.
Is it raining out?
It is
pouring
raining, yeah,
outside.
it is. You right? You ready to carry on?
Yeah.
Cool, awesome, yeah.
I'm just thinking about how the Saints play in the rain. I don't know how it's going to affect them.
Yeah, there can't be any Saints fans in here. Can there? No?
Switch on.
All right, so the next part of the show, the next segment is Switch On. Did you want to explain to the listeners
What switch on is?
what Switch On is for those who aren't aware?
Yes. So switch on is basically initially it was sort of quiz questions in a way that we came up for each other. It would be 2 or 3 questions for each other, but it kind of evolved to be more than that. It could be us creating a list of a greatest top 11 or something like that. It could be I think the Australian Television Masterpieces episode, we played a few Spicks and Specs kind of games. It's very much fluid. And
It's just sort of any way to get us thinking, isn't it?
yeah.
Yeah. Questions of
much.
any kind. Yeah.
Yes.
Open-ended and otherwise.
So as this is the 100th episode, and we've been switching on for 99 episodes and answering each other's questions, we thought it was only right for everyone in the room to switch on, and we're going to ask you guys some questions, and we've got some
This is where the prizes come in.
stubbies to throw at you,
There's not just stubbies as well, there's other prizes.
and there's signed photos
Thank you.
by Luke Critchlow.
No, they're signed photos of Joel Selwood and Billy Slater.
By Luke Critchlow.
I mean, yeah. All right. So you went through a few episodes, didn't you? And you handpicked some of your favorites that we asked.
Yeah.
So the first one is quite an open-ended one, and I guess we'll just pick our favorite.
Yeah.
So for you, the room, and for those playing along at home, talk to yourself as we're doing this. What is the easiest sport to look the part at?
Lawn bowls.
Fuck. All right, that's a fucking great answer.
That's a great answer.
That's the benchmark.
Do you want to expand on that, Tammy?
I mean, you could just sit whenever you wanted to and still look like you were part of the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. That's a great shout. Why have we spoken about lawn bowls before on the show?
I don't know.
Underrated.
Fine leg to.
Nah.
I can't think of a term. Lawn bowls. All right, lawn bowls. Any takers?
Cycling.
Cycling.
Ah,
Expand
yeah.
on that.
Will you just put lycra on and sit at a cafe?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
a
very
good
true.
one too.
Order a latte. Yep. Cool. All right. What do we think? Maybe we put that one. Show of hands. Who says lawn bowls? Who says cycling? Who was counting? who won that?
I think lawn bowls.
Lawn
but I
bowls.
don't know.
All right. Now the most exciting part is you get to choose. Would you like a stubby or a signed photo of Joel Selwood and Billy Slater?
Fine, I'll have the photo.
Ah. I'll come to you.
Luke is walking. Hey, clapping. All right, second question.
See, now you're going to play along, aren't you? See what's up for grabs.
Question 2. Would you rather be a third umpire in cricket or an ARC official in footy?
See what we've done there because we're footy and cricket. You see how
Yep.
really clever that one?
Yeah.
All right, I heard ARC. We need some explanations. We need the best justification possible. Inconclusive.
Get it wrong and it doesn't matter.
Yep. Cool. What? I feel like they're saying the same thing. What do we do in terms of prizes?
In terms of prizes? I don't know.
Cut the picture in half.
No, we'll you can both have one. What would you like? A signed photo?
Billy Slater side.
Do you want to tell
Actually,
them
I
about?
don't-
Do you want to tell them
it's
about the story about the photo?
What do you mean?
The fact that
We hung out. We went cycling and then we went to a cafe.
yeah. Right. he was at was it a corporate thing, right?
Yeah. It was like a work thing.
The fact that Billy Slater is there. Billy Slater sounds like such a nice guy.
Oh, okay, I get what you're saying. Yeah, so
For the
we
photo.
had like a panel thing, and Joel Selwood and Billy Slater were both there. Obviously, they're both at the Storm, and it opened up after to finish the questions, and everyone was like, they could tell that I was excited that Joel Sewell was there. So we're like, oh, Luke, ask a question. And before I knew it, my hand was up in the air. I'm like, fuck, I have no idea what I'm going to ask this man. And then essentially I started it by just thanking him for all the success that he brought to Geelong as I'm trying to think of a question in my head. All the while not realising that I hadn't acknowledged Billy Slater who's sitting next to him on the panel. So I asked him a question and then the panel wraps up and go and get a photo outside the boardroom thingy we're in. And he essentially asks if he wanted me, what am I trying to say?
He's basically like, do you want me to be in the photo?
Yeah, he offered to get out of the photo. Billy Slater at a Storm event offered to get out of a fan photo. And I felt too awkward to say no. All right, Lau, we'll both give you a prize. What do you want? You want the photo? Stubby? Ouch.
Hey, good hands.
Either one. You just can't throw the photo, that's why.
That spiral was okay, wasn't it? That spiral was pretty good. You're also right. Yeah, I didn't want to get up again. All right. Do you know the answer to this next one? I remember asking it. I don't know the answer, though.
I think I do know the answer.
Question 3. Which of these is not allowed into the MCG? A, torn up paper. B, esky. C, an open box of cereal. Or D, umbrellas. Anyone, this one is not, this is just, is not allowed.
He's not allowed. From
Besides the cereal? Torn up paper's not allowed.
Just keep, torn up paper's not allowed. There you go.
not allowed.
There you go. You win. What would you like?
Yes.
One thing I haven't thought about is whether I trust some people in this room with the photo.
With a photo.
Well, I don't know what they're going to do. Anyway.
How's his signature? Does it look legit?
Yeah, I don't know. I'll get it inspected.
Yeah.
Get it verified, yeah. So we mentioned a segment and the note, didn't we, about footy folklore retold, which ended
Yes.
up being renamed, rewound and retold.
Yep. Just so we could do cricket moments as well.
Yeah.
And footy moments.
Yeah. We were going to prepare ones to do for you live today, and the
Yep.
first person who guesses the correct moment wins.
Yep.
I didn't prepare one. Did you end up preparing one?
I've got a video right here,
All right.
so I'm going to do it live.
He's going to do it live. This is a cricket highlight.
This is a cricket highlight.
You have to guess the iconic cricket moment. First one to yell at the right answer wins.
Yep.
All right, Stubby.
All right, here we go. Here we go. There's an hour left of play in the day. It's all come down to this. South Africa are 8 for 257 and the pressure is mounting. Andrew McDonald runs in. He's trapped Alstein. It's in front. It's given. It's given. Is this all over? It's all done. No. No, it's not done. It's not done. Don't tell me. Don't tell. Is Graham Smith? No, he's not.
Pete. Yep. Yep. You're the first person who said it. Yeah, you win. Yeah, right.
Yeah, that's it.
What would you like? Starting to take this personally. There you go. Assist. Thank you. I forgot to do that because we ran out of time, so we're just going to move on if that's all right.
That's all right.
So this one's a bit more fun. We're simply going to go. We've gone through old episodes, and this is simply who said it, Luke or Ashwin.
Yep.
Did you want to start with the first one, or do you want me to start?
I can start.
All right.
Okay. Why is the word casual in smart casual? I don't see the purpose of it. Why put the word casual in it? What's the big difference between smart casual and semi-formal? Putting the word casual in there is just misleading to people like me who really like being casual.
Who said it? No. Who was the first person who said Ashwin? Then I heard it. Stubby or photo?
For context, that was me trying to defend myself from there's a photo of our when we won our premiership in 2010 or 2011.
2010-11.
2010-11, and I wore shorts and runners to the presentation night. So that was me defending myself. So there you go.
The next one, again, just yell it out. First one to yell it out wins, all right?
Yeah.
There's no social protocol for when you've been touched in a public toilet. Yes. Would you like a photo or a stubby?
You don't think I would have said that?
I'm not giving any context. There's the quote there.
Okay. The next one here. I don't want to be Prime Minister anymore.
Yep. Which one would you like? Just got to check we're not going to run out of time. Hold on, before we go, let's just check. Nah, we've counted this amount of prizes perfectly.
Yeah, sure.
What's the drama for? All right, the next one. I tried this cute little lap shot to a ball that nearly bounced twice and hit the ball onto my stumps. Yep.
Thanks.
Stubby or photo? All right, there's 2 of each left.
How many questions left?
4. If you want it, you're going to have to come get it.
Hope that works on Monday. All right, next one.
True. I just said what you said. That's good.
I said stay tuned to see if it grows back or doesn't.
Yep.
I said stay tuned to see if it grows back or doesn't, and well, it didn't.
It was. Well done. You've already got a prize. You can't. There's no bonus points.
Have you said it?
Photo or stubby?
Stubby.
There's still 2 photos left, guys. We're running low on them. Good catch. What are we, the next one. Say your please and thank yous to Chat GPT, even though it's still kind of a dumbass. Who said Luke? Photo or stubby? Right, so it's going to be a mad rush to answer these 2 questions.
Yeah, because
There's 2 photos left.
everyone wants the photos. Yeah.
Clearly.
Yeah.
Apologies. Excuse me, we've played enough cricket together to know about my throwing ability. Come on.
All right. If you're meeting a dog in person, do you say in person or in dog?
Who said Ashwin? Would you like a photo or a stubby?
One more quote?
Yeah, I'll say it.
Yeah.
Bear with me. Legs aren't that long. The last quote for the last prize, which is a photo of Joel Selwood and Billy Slater.
Yep.
It's signed.
And you.
Touching the rim won't stop the spread. Ashford. Signed photo.
I don't remember saying that at all.
That was the Brovid-19 episode. We mentioned about
But when did I say
we
it?
were outlawing slam dunks because touching the rim won't stop the spread.
And it wasn't intentional at all. Was it like literally random?
Yeah, I started laughing. You were like, "What?"
Yeah.
I was like, "I can't. We're not going into it." Anyway, that was switch on.
Yep.
So the next segment is
Time for my mate's multi.
Money! Money!
So, my mate's multi, for those of you that don't know, is you might have we did a Instagram post just before this, right, to kind of explain.
I like it how you're genuinely asking me. Yes, yeah. Ashwin's not one for socials
No, not really.
or socialising.
Or socializing. My mate's multi is basically us coming up with niche and very ambitious predictions of not necessarily linked to footy or cricket. Sometimes it's just our daily lives, but
Yeah. It's just markets that the big betting companies are too afraid to offer you.
yeah, effectively. So we've done that for this footy final series.
This final series, yeah. So we've created our own, and so we're going to go through them and go through some that you guys have submitted as well.
Yep. So I'll go with my legs. So leg 1, I said the combined amount of behinds kicked by the Sydney teams throughout this final series will be less than the jersey number of the Brownlow medal winner.
Everyone follow that? Yep, cool, good, yeah.
Leg 2, I said any team with a shade of red that plays in the grand final will score less than 80 points. And leg 3, I said the person doing the coin toss at the start of each of the 9 finals games will be wearing the colours of the teams that will win. I can't remember.
I was going to say, I was just about to ask, there's been 2 coin tosses already.
Yeah, I don't know.
All right.
Nah, it's out.
Thank you. For,
GG.
I'm glad there's people in here that actually know footy. My legs for the final series. The first goal of... What the fuck have I written here? The first goal will be kicked by someone with a mullet in at least 3 out of the total 9 finals.
Yep.
Leg 2, I said the Ark will avoid the spotlight for the entire final series.
Oh. Yeah.
Leg 3. One team will crash out of the finals in straight sets. Actually disappointed I'm out so soon. And some of the ones we got through from Instagram, should we go through them?
Yep. All right. Shall we start?
Yeah, if you want. Yeah.
So we've got leg 1. No player to kick more than 4 goals across finals. Leg 2. A player with the name Jack will kick a behind. Leg 3. A team starting with the letter C will win 1 game. These are very.
Well, that's out. They've won 2 games. Thank you, Elmer.
Oh.
Yeah, didn't put at least. That's something we learned. We learned the hard way.
You got to learn that.
Yeah,
shit.
you got to learn
Yeah.
that. Come on, there's no room for that in my mate's multi. Another one we got was the flag will be won by an interstate team.
Mm-hmm.
The name of the Norm Smith medalist will rhyme with the name of a previous winner.
Yep.
And then the third leg in that one was a Josh Dunkley smile will be captured at some point during the finals coverage.
Yep. I've got a 5-legger here.
A 5-legger.
Big one. Leg 1. Dacos Senior will be shown at a game more than 20 times. Leg 2. At least one team will have below 50% goal kicking efficiency in every final. Leg 3. Over 3 players will be newly anointed as finals players, but we will hear them described as such over 5 times each.
Bit wordy that one there, mate.
Leg 4. This final series is nowhere as good as last year's will be said a minimum of 100 times by fans who did not make the finals.
I reckon I've said that 100 times myself, so that one's got up already.
Number 5. Charlie Curnow will flex to the crowd for a minimum of 3 times.
Lovely.
Nice.
Some good multis there. I'm pretty happy with that. That's just about the show, guys. So I guess to wrap up, shout out, who's going to win the flag? The Baggers. Orange team. Orange. So our predictions from the start of the year, I said Melbourne.
Yep.
You want to share with the group who you said?
I said Fremantle.
Oof.
Yep.
That's right, you live in...
Where do they end up?
Irrelevant.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah. Anyway, thank you so much to all of you for coming out. Thanks to Baxter.
Yes.
Thanks to Tash. I know I've been unbearable the last couple of weeks stressed about this, so thank you for dealing with me.
Thanks so much to Cami. Thanks to Lily for coming and helping set up as well.
Ash as well. We probably
Ash.
wouldn't have these cameras set up and ready to go if you weren't here.
Thanks to Andrew for the lighting.
Thanks
Huge
to
shout
Work
out.
for letting me be here.
Yep. And hopefully continue to let you stay.
Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. That's 100, guys. So for those who might be aware, we end every episode with Ashwin saying something, and I don't think we should change it up at all. So Ashwin, round it out, mate.
Keep kicking goals.